This piece is called Hotel. It came from, again, looking at places we see art and kind of low art versus high art. And the hotel room art is kind of a classic example of generic, kind of crappy art. And so I thought I would do a piece that dealt with hotel art. I juxtaposed that in a way with the idea of sort of inspired by doing a nude like Degas, the piece by Degas where he's got a woman nude sitting on her bed and she's brushing her hair. So in the video here, you will see eventually after much other action, the woman in the hotel room is coming out of the shower and she's nude. She sits on the edge of the bed in the same way and brushes her hair. In the video, which is this portion here, you see, in the foreground, you see a female alone in a hotel room, and she does the typical stuff you would do in a room on your own. She watches TV, writes a little bit in a diary, she checks her voicemail on her cell phone, and takes a shower and brushes her hair. In the hotel art that's on the wall in the video, you see a male, that's me, going through very similar actions, watching TV, checking, in my case, I'm checking images on my camera instead of cell phone, and also taking some notes, and a shower eventually. And then on the wall behind there, you see, getting to a point where you almost can't see it anymore, you see another iteration of the woman again, stepping back into space. In the video, at one point, you see the Degas piece itself being carried in. I place it in the scene and put it on the wall of the hotel room. One of the things I was looking at in this piece and trying to get some deeper content was not only the idea of being, that whole experience of being alone in a hotel room or in a space, a sort of isolation, but also there's an element of voyeurism in this piece. We're watching somebody doing the relatively mundane and boring things that they would do in real life, but there's that element of peeking in on somebody not aware of your presence. In art, there's been a lot of discussion, certainly, of the male gaze, that is, the use of female nudes and the power between the artist and the model and what that is. And in this piece, because of its voyeuristic content, at the point when she's nude and she's brushing her hair, there's a point where she suddenly stops and looks directly at you, the viewer, and kind of breaks that thing of you viewing a piece of art that's just there on the wall doing whatever it's doing. And all of a sudden, she's interacting with you and acknowledging, almost challenging you in your stare, in your gaze at her. As you can see, this piece was actually shot in a hotel room. This is the photograph here is hotel room. This is the frame that was on the wall. And within that frame, you'll see up here in the corner a little bit of a reflection of myself, sort of pulling. I like to layer sort of the realities between the video and the photo, and if there's a painted element, what each of those represent, and sort of go back and forth between them, and sort of dissolve the line between what is the piece of art, what is the art we're looking at, and what is just its environment. You'll notice in my photographs of the spaces we present art, I blur the background, if you will, except around the center of attention, the photograph, painting, video portion that's where there's action. The rest of it's blurred. And the reason for that is I'm looking at these as sort of somewhat generic spaces. This is a generic hotel room. There's a generic kitchen, a generic museum space. So I'm looking for sort of the cliches, if you will, of art spaces and how we view art. to me, the blurring starts to create more of that generic feel and less of a specific place and time. And it also keeps the eye sort of gravitating towards the imagery in the video. I also think it's a particularly beautiful effect and very pleasing aesthetically. And there's an element of this work where I always want to look at beauty and what we consider to be beauty or not. Like previously in the coffee table book piece, the images are all things most people would agree are beautiful, and so the question is, what is the value of that beauty in art?